Feeble Talk, episode 13, here with Mike Hucker Clark, the one and only. I did pull a couple of clips, I think from the Oakley Dirt Lab video, just a couple of clips. I realized you don't really have like a video part, do you? Have you ever filmed for like a straight video part?
The only video part I've ever had was actually range of motion.
Okay. And that was like a section.
Yeah, that was
though.
just a section. Yeah. That was in the trail section. So I've never actually had a full video part. S&M's making a video. Yeah. I think I'm gonna have a part.
Hold off.
It's gonna be pretty good.
Hold off. So do we have the footage from the Oakley video? Let's play that, and then so this is obviously your local spot now.
Yeah.
And that's it's pretty much permission via a sponsor, which is pretty epic, I think.
Yeah, this place is seriously a dream come true. I mean, ever since I was a little kid, you always fantasize of having your own trails, and like I had Sheep Hills growing up, which is awesome, but people show up. And, it was never mine. People show up, hack the jumps to make them so they could ride it. And Steve Blick hit me up a couple months before X Games last year and was like, dude, we have this facility. Do you want to come build your own private trails for you and your friends come ride to get ready for X Games?
It was a shitload of work.
It was a lot of work, and last year leading up to X Games, I actually dug for like 2.5 to 3 months instead of riding for 2.5 to 3 months. But it's sick because the jumps are awesome. I've never gone somewhere with just like a blank canvas and had all the tools to build whatever I want.
Yeah.
To see it all come together and watch it actually work, it's
probably
rad.
Pretty stressful at a point.
Yeah, super stressful. I mean, there's times where you're thinking like, what I get myself into? Like, I wish I can go back and just stop, but they came out really good, and they're actually just getting better and better.
Nice. Well, let's choose a background before we go any further, and that is I can't even remember I always choose them early morning, so I think we've got a couple riding ones to start. Head goes this way. What? Obviously, Dreamline.
Oh, man.
One of the best contests ever.
Those were the best.
And then what else we got? The loop.
That was crazy.
I watched that video this morning. That whole scenario seemed pretty gnarly.
Yeah, it was nuts. I'd never done a loop before, and
they made it like egg-shaped.
Yeah.
It
was perfectly symmetrical, actually. It was a perfect circle, but they got like an absurd amount of rain, and it warped it, and the dirt moved, and it messed it all up. So when I got there, it wasn't a perfect circle, and we ended up fixing it, and it worked perfect. But that was a crazy project. I've never done a loop still to that day, or since
really
that day. I'd love to do one. It's just there's no loops anywhere.
I think that ends maybe the serious ones. Oh, we got Sheep Hills.
Sheep Hills. That's where it all started. Right here, man.
Oh, you got it tattooed right there.
Sheep jumping over some hills.
There you go. And then I think
there's
on a hill.
Real sheep on a hill. Yeah.
Yeah, and one dog somewhere in there. A mullet. I think it says business in the front. Party. Wait, never mind. There is no party.
There's always a party.
Drones.
Drones are fun.
I don't know what your opinion on pugs are, but
Pat Casey has one.
He does. And then
that was a fun project.
Yeah. What was that called? I forgot. That came out from Google, so I just pulled that one out.
No, that was
recreating like a BMX Bandits.
Yeah, it was recreating that. It was BMX motocross or bicycle motocross.
Bicycle motocross,
And it was all Corey Bowen's idea, and he asked me to come in and play one of the characters, and it was rad, just dressing up in all this vintage gear and just shredding around Australia for a week. It was super fun.
I've never seen BMX Bandits.
You know what's funny? I had never seen it either. And then I was at a truck stop in like Utah or something, and they had it for $2, so I bought it.
Really?
Yeah, I have the video now. But I had never seen it.
You have a DVD player?
Yeah.
Yeah? Crazy.
Yeah. I'd never seen it until that.
Was that the last one? That was the last one. So which one's your favorite?
What?
You got to choose your background. You have to pick out of those 7.
Oh, wow. Shit. I got to pick?
Mm-hmm.
Are we live?
We are live. No, there's no bukkake.
Bukkake. Let's do the loop. That was rad.
The loop one?
Yeah, let's do the loop.
Loop it is. There you go.
Nah, go back to Sheep Hills.
Sheep Hills?
Sheep Hills. That's still my favorite place to ride when I'm home. Like, they're considered like some of the worst jumps in California, but it's still my favorite place to ride.
So when...
Like, I have more fun. When Sheep's working, I'd still rather ride there than Oakley.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. Yeah. And I love riding Oakley. Oakley's incredible.
Well, it's like home. It's like,
it is
home.
Like,
it's like, yeah. When we were younger, Gary and I drove up to Gary Young and I drove up to Sheep Hills, and obviously it was legendary Sheep Hills.
And you're like, this place is horrible.
Exactly. We're like,
you have to pedal. There's no downhill.
This is it. Like, this sucks. So and Gary was on a flatland frame at the time too.
Holy cow!
Because he's tiny, but
is it like a Dirt Brothers?
No, it was like literally a Sabbath. I think he was riding a Sabbath. So McMurray influence, but. Yeah, you're here. You're going down south to ride Vert today, and that is that you're going for X Games Vert?
I'm just going to ride and have a good time.
But you're in qualifying, right?
Yeah, I got an invite a little over a week ago actually to see if I wanted to. I got invited to go ride the Vert qualifier, and like I don't really ride Vert that much anymore. Yeah. I kind of ended my Vert riding career at Texas Toast when I got knocked out. Yeah. But, yeah, I got invited to it, and I love riding Vert. I just never get to ride one. There's nothing up in Orange County. Like, I have to drive down to San Diego to ride a Vert ramp or go out to Woodward. And it's kind of a long haul just to ride a big U ramp.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I went out to Woodward on Monday, actually, and rode a little bit with Coco, and it's going to be fun. Cool. I love every chance I get to ride Vert. I like to take.
I said it to some dudes a couple days ago. I was like, I think it's like the qualifying contest is 5 miles from my house, so I'm definitely gonna go. Awesome. And I was like, I'm gonna go to X Games qualifying with Koji Craft.
That's awesome. Koji's in town.
Because Koji Craft is actually making like some sort of reappearance and riding in the contest. So I think that's probably going to be the most that's like my biggest pull to go to the contest.
Dude, me too. When I heard that he was going, I was like, this is awesome. Last time I saw Koji was in like Chicago or something. Yeah. I feel like. So how do tour like way back when.
How comfortable are you like riding Vert? Is it a comfortable thing or is it?
Vert has never been comfortable. Yeah. I've always been a firm believer that when you get comfortable with something, that's when things go wrong. Mm-hmm. And Vert, like, in order to land good, you have to feel like you're going to sprocket case and die. That's just how the ramp works. So it's never really comfortable, but it is fun. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing like just blasting a big air on a Vert ramp.
And are you
fully
padded up, or what are you wearing?
Yeah, I got like I got a chest protector, full face, knee pads,
do you have a chest protector?
Ankle guards, toe plates. No, I don't.
No, I just. I actually believed you until you got the toe plates.
I wear like a full face and knee pads and shin pads.
Okay, yeah. Normal. I mean, shorts.
Normal,
I'm sure.
Gear, most likely.
Yeah. Mullet flapping in the wind.
Yeah.
Are you like? How serious on like a scale from 1 to 10? How serious are you actually taking X Games qualifier though?
For Vert?
Yeah.
I'm going to go out there and try to have as much fun as I possibly can. I haven't been riding a Vert ramp that much lately. I didn't even know about this till literally 2 weeks ago. I was on an S&M trip, and I was like, sick. I'm going to have like 2 weeks to get ready for this. And then I got hurt. I like rolled my ankle. The next day I bruised
you were limping when you
The next day I bruised my heel and my hip. And then the next day I slammed my other knee. So I got worked. And then I came home, rode Oakley, and just had like the sketchiest session ever. And I took a whole week off and rode Vert once last week, so now I'm going to go up there for a couple days, ride it before, and see what happens. I'm going to go out. I mean, I'm going to take it serious. I'm going to try, but my goal is not to win. I'm going to go out there and have fun. Every time I've ever tried to win a contest, I rode horrible. So I've come to the conclusion over the years that when I'm riding and just having fun, that's when I do best.
Yeah, that's the best thing. Because I feel like that was the same thing for X Games. The year you got the silver,
2 years
you had
ago.
like a 360 bar hump in your run.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I like flip whipped the first set and I cased and I got so like stressed out. I was like, dude, why are you doing a flip whip? Like, you don't need to do a flip whip. I was like, let's just have some fun. Let's do a 3 bar hump. And it was like my highest scoring run of the contest. And I thought my last run was way better, but it wasn't. So I don't know. I like to have fun. Was that last year? It was 2 years ago.
2 years ago. So you're pre-qualified for Dirt, I assume, in X Games, right? Or do they?
Is there qualifying? I know I got invited. I don't.
You're invited.
Know what's
that's
going on.
That's it. You're invited.
I'm invited.
That was.
I heard that there might be a qualifying, and then I've heard that there's not. So
it seems so weird because it's like there's that X Games qualifier for the park stuff, but it's like you have to be invited to the qualifier, so it's like invitation thing, like, and then tryouts. It seems
a bit
a little
funky.
Yeah, but whatever. Yeah, what else has been going on? I mean, Huntington Beach life. You look a little more trim than usual.
Yeah,
I did notice that.
I lost a little bit of weight there. I was getting a little thicker. In October, me and my girlfriend actually did a 30-day juice fast. And
just juice.
Just juice. I ended up incorporating some fruit because I was like too weak to ride my bike.
Yeah.
But it was awesome. I want to do it every year, just to like clean my palate and start fresh. Like.
So you were weak during it, and then like kind of when you got towards the end, did it once you?
Honestly,
I don't really understand.
Like
the concept.
halfway through it,
eat,
I started getting used to it, and it's so crazy. Like I had like really bad digestive issues. I always had like diarrhea. It was disgusting, but and I was always tired. It didn't matter if I got 2 hours of sleep or 10 hours of sleep. I could lay down on the floor or on a sidewalk and just take a nap, and it's been like that for as long as I could remember. And
which is weird because I don't think
dude,
of you
it
like
was
that
such a trip.
whatsoever. I feel like
and
you have
then
nothing
we were
but
seeing
energy.
this holistic woman, and we came to the conclusion that I ran off adrenaline, not energy. And I was like, I thought it was energy. I was like, yeah, energy. She's like, well, think about it. When you go to the jumps, do you feel good right away? I was like, no, it usually takes me like a half hour to start to feel good. She's like, there you go. You have to get the adrenaline going. And it made sense. But now, like, I don't really get tired anymore. And it's crazy. I changed my eating habits. Eat a lot more plant-based food now and whatnot. I mean, I still eat burgers sometimes.
Yeah, you still drink whiskey?
Nah, I haven't even drank since the whole thing. Yeah.
Really?
Oh.
October then?
Yeah, October. Like 7 months or something.
Was that the hard? I mean, was that a hard part of it or
not
no? Not
at all. Like, I mean, I've partied and I've had a lot of fun over the years, and I was like, man, you should just go a year without drinking just to do it. Why not? And it's not holding me back. I'm not having any less fun.
Yeah, so. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like I wake up every morning feeling good for the most part, and no, I don't really miss drinking.
Yeah, I feel like I would miss it.
I'm not saying I'm done forever, but
that's cool though. That's awesome.
Like,
I mean, obviously it's paying off. Your soon-to-be wife is looking more babish than ever. You're looking trim. So I know you posted a photo the other day, and you showed me today, so I'm allowed to say that.
She's killing it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And she seems to be a good influence too, obviously. Yeah. So that's sick. Are you guys got a date?
What?
Marriage? Does that happen?
I haven't even asked her yet.
Damn, dude.
We actually fooled everybody on Instagram once.
Did you?
It was like a year and a half ago. We went to Vegas and we were.
Well, I watched the Hanging with Labs thing before this morning. And it was like my soon-to-be wife, I think you said, or something like
I'm gonna marry her. I just haven't popped the question yet.
Oh, okay, all right.
But yeah, we actually played a joke on all the guys from Wetlands. We went to Vegas for her friend's birthday party, and her friend ended up getting sick and not even going. So we were just in Vegas with us, just hammered. And all the guys from Wetlands, like, they were just text me, like, oh, you ran up to Vegas, you're getting married, you fucking changed, like, all this shit, just giving me, like, a load of shit. I'm like, what the hell, guys? So we went to a jewelry store and put, like, a $28,000 ring on her hand, and we actually, like, pretended we were shopping to make it look serious, kind of. And we took a photo and, like, wrote this big old spiel how we got married and shit. And instantly, right when we hit send, we both got like the craziest anxiety. Like, what did we just do?
On your Instagram as well.
And on hers, yeah.
Wow, yeah.
And so we looked at each other, we're like, all right, we cannot talk to anybody tonight. Let's just let it pass. We'll deal with it in the morning. And like my nieces and nephews were crying because they thought they got a new cousin. And like, it was crazy.
Oh, so it was like not funny for some. It was not funny for some people.
It was not funny. People still think I'm married though.
That's all good.
Yeah. It's good fun.
I'm
going to. I just haven't yet.
Oh, okay. All right.
She's the one.
I did see yesterday or 2 days ago. You had the drone flying at Nitro Circus.
Yep.
And I think I did see Doyle's comment on Instagram where he was like, my favorite clip was Hucker, and it was just you standing there with the drone, basically. So Doyle closet hating basically on Nitro a little bit, but also loving you a bit too. So you're obviously been going hard with the drone.
A little bit. I go through phases with it. Yeah, like I'll fly it a bunch and then I'll let it sit forever and then I'll just take it out and fly it. But I don't do anything with the footage. I have so much footage. It's insane.
That's kind of my.
It's like the hardest part is like making time to do something with it,
Yeah. Is it, well, let's go ahead and play the highlight reel grab a couple clips from your Instagram.
Is this when I kill Navaz?
Yeah, and then that is,
this is
and
wetlands.
then that does come up. But so is it kind of like, it's just a little side pro, but I feel like you've been into it for years. Didn't you buy like a crazy like DIY drone from Cosman back in the day?
Yeah, I bought Cosman's back in the day. That was the first drone I ever bought. And right when I bought that, I bought the Phantom. Cosman's is like some high production one, and he sold it to me for cheap, which I thought was cheap, and then I bought it and then found out that it was discontinued. But it's all good. I haven't even flown it yet though. Like I don't even want it. Everything I want to do, I could do with the Phantom.
New ones, yeah. I mean the technology catches up so crazy.
Yeah, it catches up. By the time I bought it, it was already like on the tail end of being outdated, Mm-hmm. But anybody want to buy a DJI 800? I got one.
$80. I'll buy it.
$80.
Can you put it in?
This was fun. I was actually driving the boat and flying. And then that actually,
I found out. Like that could get you in
that
a lot of
was a
trouble.
U.S. naval ship. We found that out right after.
So that's kind of what I was thinking, is that like your mentality in general.
Yeah, I saw a big boat. I was like, dude, let's drive over there. Let's go fly through it.
Yeah.
And then right when I flew through it, I realized it said U.S. Naval. And I was like, great.
I feel like your mentality in general and drones obviously produces situations like this where
Okay, so this was when I first got a drone, and this was my first time filming surfing, and it was like my second or third time doing BMX. And I grew up flying remote control airplanes and helicopters ever since I was like 9 years old. So
but like you're aggressive with it,
Yeah,
like,
I mean when there's like this right here, there's like 6 other drones and they're all hovering like 50 to 100 feet above, and I'm like, dude, you guys are not gonna get the shot doing that. And
you gotta risk it.
Yeah, like no risk, no reward, but I feel comfortable enough doing it. Like I've flown remote control aircrafts my entire life for the most part.
Yeah.
And I was actually so anti-drones because I saw the footage people. Well, I knew.
Yeah,
I'd get bored of it.
Cornball stuff.
Well, yeah, it's like the easiest thing there's to fly, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna get so bored of that. I don't even want one. And then I saw the footage people were getting, and I was like, dude, this footage could be so much better. And then I got one, and it's really fun.
And
but
so
it's
this
sketchy
about what's to happen in this video is you literally just fly your drone directly into a camera, like, and yourself. Like, if the camera wasn't there, you probably would have hit yourself.
We were standing right next to each other.
So how does that happen?
Well, so Ryan Navazio was filming this edit, and I was dive bombing him.
Yeah.
And scaring the shit out of him, and it was hilarious. And me and Anthony are just cracking up, and he's like ducking and running from it, and then finally he's like, okay, Hucker's not gonna hit me. He's like, Hucker, get really close.
Yeah.
So I went really close, and when I told the drone to go up, it didn't go up fast enough. And it went straight into the camera, which was right in his face. Yeah, right there, like that. And that's with a fisheye too.
Yeah,
so like,
I mean, it's definitely close. Anthony just loving it.
Yeah.
So what? Navaz get messed up?
No, well, it was just hilarious.
It looks so purposeful. Like, it doesn't look like anything other than you tried to. If you weren't standing right next to him, it would have been like.
Yeah, I didn't want to break the drone. I didn't want to hurt Navaz. He was fine. He said he was going to get a black eye. He didn't get a black eye.
Yeah.
Everything was fine. Like, nothing got hurt except for the gimbal on the drone. But, oops. Sorry, Navaz.
Amazing.
Yeah, drones are fun though.
Drones are fun. Yeah, I had one for 2 days.
It's scary now with like all the regulations and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't even know what the laws are. I'm just like winging it. And
I mean, I think that's the BMXer in us too, where we're like, well, yeah, you're not supposed to do it. But
eventually, I really would like to. I've always wanted to get my pilot's license, anyways, but I would like to get the proper drone certifications and licensing to do it. That way, if I ever were to get into some trouble, I could be like, nah, dude, I'm legit.
It's crazy because when flying my first one and then having it like near me, I was like, I got that real sensation of like, holy crap, this thing actually is dangerous.
Yeah.
You know? And
you start shaking.
Yeah. And then when I was looking for backgrounds, I Googled a drone hitting someone in the face. And just like I was thinking, like, oh, maybe there's some funny image, and it was like the stuff I got back was depressing because it was like some real life stories of like a kid getting hit with a drone. Like I'm not going to get into it, but like stuff that's like, okay, these things are not
dude, they're
toys.
no joke.
Yeah,
and it's crazy. Like the helicopters and stuff I have, and I've flown for years. Like I got this one. It has 2 blades. They fold out. Each blade's about that big, so it's like 4, maybe 5 foot blade span.
Oh.
And it spins at 10,000 RPMs. And there's a dude that had one. It chopped his head off. And like, they're no joke. And drones are seriously like just as dangerous.
Yeah.
Especially in the hands of people that don't know what they're doing. And that's one of the dangerous things about them is
because the level of entry is so cheap now. You can get them for $400.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and so many people are getting them without any experience in the flying world. And it's really dangerous. It can be really dangerous.
Yeah, definitely.
It's only as dangerous as you make it. But then again, some of them just wig out and take off.
And my whole point is that I think you try and make it as dangerous as possible because you're trying to get in people's faces, surfers, etc. But you're better now.
For the most part.
Even that clip
I've backed off a lot. That was when I first got it. Yeah. I was like, oh, I got
a little aggro with it.
Yeah. I still try to get in there and get the shot, but I try to keep like a safe distance.
And you have your dronogram
account,
but you don't really use it. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I need to. I was actually gonna post one of those.
Oh yeah,
from Metro Circus.
Send it to me. I'll post it. Post a right account.
Really?
Yeah, sure.
Damn. All right.
Let's get it.
Sweet. I'm growing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're just chilling, huh? I mean, I feel like the Red Bull products, like looking at, obviously because I did a little, glance at what you have online, and just like I said, you didn't really have like straight up like web edits, but you get to do so many cool things, and I think a lot of that's probably just because of Red Bull. You get these New Zealand trips and all this stuff, and all these like the Loop project and stuff like that. You always have something going on. But
the past like 5 years, I feel like you just don't rest. The second you think you get a break, it's like, oh man,
because even
I don't have anything on the calendar for a month, and then things just start popping up, and it's like, I want to do that. I don't ever want to say no to anything.
Because we were trying to work on an interview for Ride a while, and your schedule was so gnarly that it became just like, all right, well, we'll just put that in the.
Can we still do that?
I don't think we make magazines anymore, unfortunately.
No, it wouldn't be for the website, though.
We could do something. We could do something if you want.
Yeah, we talked about that for years and just never got around to it. It's crazy.
But, I mean, even now, like, do you have other stuff coming up? Is there any other projects that are kind of looming? Or
right now, I'm just, like, really just riding the trails and just kind of chilling around home. I don't want to leave too much.
You don't need underwater hang 5 videos.
Oh, underwater hang 5 anything.
That was a thing going on.
Every time I get a chance, I'll do it.
I mean, I guess we could jump ahead a little bit, but the hang 5 stuff was popping for a little while with the Red Bull stuff.
Yeah.
So that's number 6. Sorry, I'm out of order.
All good.
But top 5, or I think we did. It's ironic. Top 4 gnarliest hang 5s. It was your list. So
yeah, the scariest.
Well, let's go. We'll work in reverse. We got it right here. So this is.
Hey, there we go.
From a day edit. This is like the closest thing you've had to a part online.
Yeah, so this was for Redline Bikes way back when my buddy Kyle filmed this. And at the time, that was the fastest hang 5 I had ever done. I think I was going like 40 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And it was scary, man. That's Edwards Hill and Huntington Beach. And that was kind of like groundbreaking for me in hang 5s. I'd always like pedaled and hauled ass doing hang 5s. But that was the biggest hill bomb I'd ever done.
Yeah.
So that was like
I remember
a
seeing
game changer
that
for me.
And being like, dude, that is gnarly.
Yeah, that was a game changer.
Look how young you are, pre-mullet.
I'm like 22 there. That's like 8 years ago. Maybe longer.
And what was this?
Yeah, so this all started because Ronnie Napolitan's a dick and was like, just do a hang 5 to front flip, pussy. And I learned how to hang 5 up box jump lips, and he was like, just do it to front flip. And I tried it in the foam, and it worked first try, and then I did it on the resi, and then this was the game of bike. And my heat was already over. I lost to Kyle Baldock, and there's a setup, and it was so sketchy, but I don't know. I just felt like sending it, and it kind of worked out. This was sketchy. This one was super crazy because the deck on the roll-in was like a bike and a half length long, so I had no time to get into it and get balanced. And then this is hands down the scariest one I've ever done. The sketchiest part about this was not only it's the biggest and steepest hill I've ever done, It's not even the steepest hill, but the biggest hill I've ever done. But there was like a 40-mile-an-hour side wind.
Yeah.
And I had to go behind the car and kind of like draft behind it, and I had to be on the side of it. And
that's my wife's car.
No way.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. Like you were there, and Bar Spinner was there driving. Yeah, it was pretty cool. But that was just terrifying. I'd looked at that hill for 10 years and wanted to do it, and then Red Bull's like, "Hey, you want to do a fast hang 5?" I was like, "Yeah, let's do it."
Yeah. But and I mean it was crazy too, because you went into that. I think it was
42.8.
It was supposed to be like hang 55. Like
I wanted to go 65 miles an hour. I wanted to go the speed you go on a freeway. That was the whole goal behind it. And the hill was definitely long enough, but it wasn't steep enough.
Yeah.
That was the problem. But
I mean,
yeah.
You need like a vacuum or something like that, like wind and all that stuff. Like you need like the perfect scenario, like 40
and some aerodynamic helmet or something.
Like I was
I still think it's possible.
That angle with of that stuff I was right next to the camera dude shooting photos, so it was like it was gnarly. It wasn't Robin. Yeah, it was absolutely gnarly. And there was a couple in that video where you like put it down and then speed wobbles and all that stuff. It was no joke for sure.
It would have been a whole different story had it not been windy.
Yeah.
But that wind was so crazy that day. I mean, it still would have been gnarly. But then again, I think I would have gone faster had there been no wind, because a side wind would create more drag technically.
Yeah,
right?
But didn't your buddy on the road bike, didn't he pedal down and he could only go like 50 or something?
No, I think he went like 50 or 55.
So like he pedaled down on his road bike.
Yeah, he said he pedaled as fast as he can.
Yeah, and went 55. So
yeah, I guess I wouldn't have gone any faster.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't have gone much faster. But
maybe a little bit, but not much.
Not much. It is fine. 43 is a good number for BMX. 43 works.
I think it was 42.3.
42.8, so you can round up 43. Right, we'll take it. But that hang 5 to front flip thing, like I feel like that's aspect of BMX that hasn't been really pushed, like that sort of stuff. Like,
you know what the crazy thing is that trick works so perfect when it works.
Yeah. It's
just the margin for error is so fine.
Yeah.
A little bit could really mess you up a little bit.
And you did say you had a fifth one, but it's never been filmed of you doing a hang 5 to actually jump a box.
Yeah, so when I broke my neck and my back, it was 2011 or 2012. I was young and just stupid back then, and the doctor's like, "All right, you fractured your your."
And that was in New Zealand.
Yeah,
right?
You said you fractured your C7, your T1 and 2. No, it was Australia.
Australia.
And it turned out my C7 had a pre-existing fracture, so I rode like that Red Bull dirt pipe. I won Cam White's all with the fractured neck, and I had no idea. And then 2 weeks later, I was still in Australia. I fell, refractured it. It was coughing out blood. It was a mess. But they said all I'm going to do is need like 2.5 months and it'll be healed. I fractured it in like the best way possible. Mm-hmm. And so I took 2.5 months off. And then my first day back on my bike, I went on a 3-week road trip with DC shoes. And I was so stupid back then. I did zero rehab. I just
drank.
Hey, I'm allowed to ride my bike. Yeah. So I went on a road trip and rode. And my first day riding, I learned how to hang 5 up the box jump lip. Yeah. And halfway through the trip, we were in Utah, and 50/50 had their show box there, and it's an actual gap. Like, it's legit.
Oh, like no deck in the middle.
There's no deck.
Oh, wow.
And I ended up jumping it.
Gnarly. That's really gnarly.
Yeah, I ended up jumping that. We didn't film it. I don't know what the heck I was thinking. But, yeah, I fell a bunch trying it, but it ended up working.
Cool. And then you mentioned bar spinner. Yeah. Bar spinner is like a mentor of sorts.
Yeah, and Spinner. Spinner was there the day I landed my first backflip.
I had a Spinner poster. I had a Spinner poster on my wall. Him black and white doing an invert. Like nice. I was a huge, and because he was like, I remember
9 feet tall.
9 feet tall, and I was always tall. I was like,
you're the tall one in your
height.
Group of friends.
So I was like, and I remember X Games. They were like, he's the tallest X Games competitor, and I was like, that's my boy right there, the tall, skinny guy, like. So I was always a fan of bar spinner, and you mentioned he was one of your early influences. So you didn't give me too much. You didn't narrow it down, but I brought up. I pulled Soil.
Yep.
So I assumed that was probably a big influence for you. We watched it a whole bunch when I was a kid. So if you want to play Soil, It's just the intro, and then you mentioned Butler too. So
Butler.
He has first section, so it works perfect.
Yeah, like Butler and Nasty are my all-time two heroes. Like Corey Nasazio and Sean Butler. And I'll never forget, I got a GT Fueler for my 12th birthday, and then a couple days after that, my mom and my sister took me to Sheep. And my older brother's how I even found out about BMX. I had always had bikes and jumped and stuff.
You had a brother.
I have two and two sisters.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, my brother used to party with all the old SHLs back in the day at the HB house. Yeah. And he'd always come home and tell me about all these BMXers because I always had jumps in my backyard. Didn't know what BMX was, but I always jumped stuff.
Yeah.
And then went to Sheep, and Butler was the first dude I saw. He did a 360 table over titties. Then he was on a purple bike, no helmet. And like that was the first time I ever found out what BMX was.
Fireworks going off.
Oh my gosh, it was so crazy. And from that point on, I was like, holy shit, I want to do this every day of my life. And man, this is just...
It's so crazy that it's just so like, rad. You know, that the HB Sheep Hills like thing just keeps going. Like the trails have been there for how many years?
Jeez, close to 30.
And they've almost died via fire, via flood, via city, via all this stuff.
They got more flooded.
There's been a dead body there.
There's been several dead bodies.
It's like,
there's been people that like stab people. There's a guy that hit some other guy with an axe. Like there's tweakers and homeless people and just it's crazy. You never know what you're gonna get when you go down there every day.
Yeah.
It's rad. And even when we had Hidden Valley, it was the same way. Like there was homeless people that lived there and would just party and have like these bum parties. There'd be like 30 homeless people. Dude, it was gnarly. And
what's that movie where it's like the dude gets his car stolen?
And there's all the homeless people having the bum orgy in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, where was that trail? What trails did we shoot photos at that one time?
Hidden Valley.
That was Hidden Valley?
Okay. That was the first time I ever did an interview for anybody.
Yeah. I always tell that story.
16 or 17 in that,
It was like, we met up on a Wednesday. It was like a bio thing or something, and we shot a couple.
Sean Burns had one too. He was holding the red-tailed boa. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, and it was like a Wednesday or something. It was just you and me, nobody else at the trails.
No one was even there. I was wearing a scuff shirt.
And you did the 360 X up?
There was a nosedive 3 X up.
And you had never done one before, and you're like, maybe I can do an X up, and I didn't know you, and then we shot that, and I was hyped on it because it was like,
well, that was cool back when a lot of people weren't doing nosedive 3s.
Yeah,
it was like Bowen and Aiken
and Riley.
Yeah, Riley. Yeah. And Joe Rich.
And then after that, you're like, you want me to do a double flip? And I was like,
you're like, no, dude, this is good.
You really wanted to do a double flip. I think you came into the day like prepared to do a double flip,
like,
and
it
was also the time
Brian
where
Budger's coming here. I got a double flip.
It was when double flips were, I don't know. I mean, they're still scary, obviously, but I think it was.
Well, there's
like
there's a lot of people doing them now.
Yeah.
Back then, there wasn't a lot of people doing them.
Yeah, it was still like the double flip, and I was no double flips, please. Like, I had to convince you to not do a double flip, and I went back to the office and I was like, I had to talk him out of doing a double flip because I didn't want to watch him get broke off alone. Like it was just so. Jeez. I always tell that story as my first introduction. I wish I could find
that video, my first double flip attempt. I'll never forget. We're at so there used to be these trails called Slater, and they're right by wetlands, but on the other side of the river.
We're going, but
right there.
Yeah.
But a little bit further down.
Oh, that's Slater.
But yeah, that was Slater.
Oh, okay. And that was Titties that you were talking about, and that's Butler.
Yeah, but there's this jump there. It was like 5 feet tall, and the gap was like not even 2 bike lengths long. And remember, I was out at Real Red, and I just like tried to flip whip I'd never landed a toe up to pedals, but I was landing flip whips to pedals every try in the foam pit. So I tried it, landed it perfect first go. I was 16, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like never even landed a straight toe whip at the time. And I talked to my buddy. I was like, dude, should I try double? He's like, oh, yeah, do it. He wanted to watch me eat shit.
Like a double flip.
A double flip, because I just learned those in the foam pit also. And I was 16. I was so sketchy back then.
Hence the Hucker nickname. Yeah.
And I tried it, and I had the rotation perfect, but I landed flat, and I was in the bars, and I messed something up in my stomach. I remember I couldn't even ride or walk for like a month after that. I should have gone to the hospital, but
probably bleeding.
Something. Yeah, I remember like I had to call my dad to come pick me up because I couldn't even ride my bike home, and it was a mess. And then I didn't even try double flip again until the day after my 18th birthday at that Vans That It Ride contest.
Okay.
At the Hard Rock in Vegas.
Yeah.
And then I landed that, and then went kind of double flip crazy for a couple of years.
Yeah. And are you doing them still? Are you still fuck with them or no?
I haven't for a while, but
yeah,
given the right jump, the right opportunity, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, yeah. It seems so crazy that people just kind of like, even just the nitro stuff. Like James did a casual 3, like did a triple flip yesterday, and it's like
it's so crazy. Like for years I was just double flip crazy, and like remember Ben Snowden's old house with the vert ramp in the backyard? That box jump, the gap literally was a bike length long, and I remember the foam pit, it was so hard to get speed, and I remember I could double flip it, and I'd go exactly 4 feet.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, if I could do it there, I could do it on the box. And I tried it, and I landed it perfect.
Yeah.
And then Savadra showed up, and I showed him the footage. I was like, dude, look at this. And he's like, dude, you're crazy. I was like,
you want to watch it?
You want to watch it? And he was like, I don't know, man. And I was like, I'll do it again. And he's like, all right. And I did it again, and it worked. And he was like, it's just crazy the way I used to think back then.
It's like the 16-year-old version. Yeah, it's just like you're like, yeah, I didn't really put much thought into that.
Yeah,
that was
and then
pretty fucking stupid.
You think a little bit more.
Yeah.
I still do a lot of stupid shit, but I actually put a little bit of thought into it before I do it. I feel like, but I still like do stuff. It's like, why did I do that? Like, it's crazy. Bikes are awesome.
So when you obviously Sheep Hill local, bar spinner Ryan Brennan, you still are. I mean, great friends with him.
Yeah, he's
scuba
still,
diving with him.
Still one of my best friends.
And he's still BMX through
This is coming out next Friday, you said?
Next Friday, yeah.
All right, sweet. I think Friday is actually his birthday. Me and my girlfriend are leaving on Wednesday.
Well, you can wish him happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Spinner. Yeah. we'll see you in Hawaii next week. We're going out there. We're fully surprising him. He has no idea. He moved out there, and it's a lot more slow paced.
I didn't no idea he moved out there. All right, that makes more sense.
He still comes here and does shows occasionally, but he has like Nathan Sykes, Joey Cordova, and the guys doing
so that's the thing is that he does shows, but he also does clinics, so he gets kids on bikes. Like he's a BMX lifer, through and through.
He does a BMX summer camp in Newport Beach.
Yeah,
it's the most badass location. It's literally on the playground, right on the beach. Yeah. Like you're on the beach.
And there needs to be more of that. Like,
dude, there really is. He had a nasty spill like 6 or 7 years ago and broke his elbow and dislocated it. And now he can't straighten his arm past that, and he can't ride anymore. And it's so rad, dude. Snorkeling in the ocean like fully saved his life, and like he still loves BMX just as much as ever, probably even more realistically. Like he lives, breathes, and eats it still, but he has that for an escape still. Like before it was riding his bike.
The adrenaline rush.
Now he's got the ocean.
And he's gnarly with it too. The free diving stuff.
He dives over 100 feet on a breath of air. He's nuts.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
But it's so crazy. Like I really admire what he does. And honestly, if it wasn't for him, I would have had to get a real job years ago. Like I did shows for Team Soil for years, and that's how I was able to pursue riding my bike every day without quitting and getting a real job, And
that's sick.
If it wasn't for Spinner, I wouldn't be where I am today. He introduced me to Fuzzy Hall and Dave Muir,
and that was Redline, and
he introduced me to Fuzzy at the King of Dirt in Huntington in 2004, and Fuzzy kind of took me under his wing and just pointed me in the direction. Spinner, like, he's just such a good dude, man. Yeah. Like,
I feel like I've had disagreements with him over the years because he's so, he's passionate, and
he's so passionate about it, and he means well about everything, and like, I mean, I don't agree necessarily on the way he goes about everything. Yeah. But I understand where he's coming from. And it's just crazy. I love that guy.
I've always been a fan, and that's always one of the things where it's like, dude, why are we arguing right now? Yeah, I had a post to you on my wall.
Yeah.
Let's
he just loves it so much. It's crazy. Shout out to Spinner.
Shout out to Spinner. Dude. Yeah.
Bar Happy Spinner, birthday. Not Mike Spinner, but Mike Spinner, you're cool too. I like Mike. Mike's a nice guy.
You're allowed to have your opinion. It's all right.
Fair enough.
S&M 30-year party. So you went Redline, and then it was a Redline pretty much straight to S&M, right?
I was actually getting flowed stuff from S&M before I was ever on Redline.
And that's part of the thing is that S&M's like that gateway sponsorship where S&M gets them in early and says like, yo, chase those dollars, and then come back to S&M. We'll still have
Dude, there was like some crazy lie going on. back in the day before. Well, I was on Flow for S&M, but somebody made a rumor saying there was like a bidding war for Hucker silence between Haro and Miraco.
There you go.
And I had never heard anything about it. I'm like, where is this coming from? And I was on like S&M Flow, and I was on like.
So you could have got
craziest. Well, I was on the craziest high ever. Like S&M was always my dream sponsor growing up. Like I grew up in Huntington Beach, riding Sheep Hills. S&M was right down the street, and like that had always been my biggest dream was S&M. And then Fuzzy, he's like, hey, dude, I'm the TM for Redline. I want to bring you on board. And I'm like, dude, Fuzzy Hall, man. Yeah. I can't say no to that. Yeah. I don't care what company it is. Yeah. And Redline was incredible, man.
Yeah, they were a cool brand. I mean, that was it. Was it the same like Garrett? Was it the Garrett time too?
No, it was just after Garrett. Garrett had just left.
All right.
Garrett and Rooftop had just left. Fuzzy got on board and brought me on, and Redline was awesome, man. They flew me to every contest I wanted to go to for the most part. If it wasn't for them, I would have never gotten the exposure I got in those years.
Yeah.
And then a couple years went by. I think I was on Redline for like 5 or 6 years. I was on it for a while.
Yeah.
And Muller hit me up, and he's like, hey, Hucker, you want to go out to lunch? And I was like, yeah, for sure. Let's do this. And we went to El Ranchito. It's right on top of Sheep Hills. And he's like, yeah, we're just kind of changing and growing. Not changing, but we're growing as a company, and we're trying to do some different things and want to bring you on board. And I didn't care what he had to say. I was like, yeah, sign me up.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Thank you, Redline. You've been amazing, but it's time to move on, you know? And Redline really was amazing, but S&M's always been home. And it's just awesome to be back. And now I got a signature frame, and it's crazy. It's just every dream I've ever had in BMX has come true.
And they're 30. This is 30 years of S&M, and it's like that party's coming in, coming up quick, June 11th, I think.
It's crazy. Me and Muller trip out every time in the office because S&M was founded in '87. That was the year I was born.
It's crazy.
So like that company is as old as I am.
Yeah.
And it's such a trip thinking about.
I'm looking forward to the party. Hopefully I can make it out.
It's gonna be a good time.
Hell yeah!
I heard that they might be building some trails out there.
Yeah, it's supposed to be trails. It's supposed to be like a festival. It's not a party. It's like a weekend festival,
and
basically.
And the video premiere.
And the video premiere. So, and you're gonna have a video part. You alluded towards that.
I don't know.
I think I should. I'm supposed to get the links for the video here soon. So
sick.
I'm supposed to get that inside tip. Yeah, we're working on
it. The video is crazy. They did a bunch of trips, and I had prior obligations and trips I couldn't get out of.
Talked about.
So I missed a bunch of the trips, and I was really stressing on clips. I was like, shit, dude, I'm not even gonna have a part. And I did one Northwest trip with them last summer, and I had totally forgot about all the clips I got in there. So I was just in New York 2 weeks ago filming for it, and that was like the final trip.
And you have a couple clips here locally too. I know you did the.
Yeah, I got a couple.
Yeah, so you probably got a part.
Oh, I forgot Z shot that photo.
I don't know what photo.
This photo from this thing I was doing for the video.
We'll leave it at that.
All right.
But yeah, what's the name of the video? I know the name of the video. Do you know the name of the video?
I don't even know it.
It's kind of classic S&M name.
There's been some crazy ones.
Hot dogs who can't read.
It is going to be that one, right? All right, that's so funny.
Fucking fantastic name. So yeah, well, I think the trailer should probably be out probably around when this is out too, because I think they're premiering it there, so I know they're gonna start pushing stuff. So
yeah, I forgot about
hot dogs who can't read.
That's so good.
So funny. What else we got on here? Did we ever? We forgot the recent influence. We're jumping all around here, Miles. I'm sorry. Recent influence was Jonathan Camacho.
Yeah, Jonathan Camacho.
You can go ahead and play that. I think it was 5.
This dude's so gnarly.
Pandilla BMX. I don't know what that. I don't know what.
I think it means gangster.
Gangster
in Spanish. I think. I could be wrong.
But yeah, he was in San Diego, and
he loves San Diego too.
I didn't get to. I met him briefly, but I didn't really get to hang out with him. But I saw him ride a bit, and he's just. He's like 100 all the time. Like,
yeah,
he's
dude,
just getting it
he
all
seriously
the time.
lives like the coolest life. Like he lives
Where's
in
he
a paradise in Ecuador, in Playa, Ecuador.
Oh my God! Yeah, that
dude,
was what you're talking about.
That box jump is so tiny, and like he's just the best. Yeah, like you see the skate park you grew up riding, like everything. It's super fun.
Yeah.
It's super fun, but like the transitions all have the good parts and the bad parts.
Yeah.
And nothing's too big there. And like, he does like the biggest stuff over literally the smallest stuff.
He went to Simple Session one year too.
Yeah, Simple Session,
Fees.
Fees.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy. Like, he travels all over the place, and like, he's starting to create a name for himself. And I'd never heard of him. My buddy Hadrian invited me out there to go ride with him and do an edit. And I literally was sitting there for like a week. It rained a lot, but I was sitting there just with my thumb in my butt, like, dude, what am I gonna do? This guy is the best in the world.
Yeah,
He's so good. Yeah, he should have an edit coming out pretty soon from that trip. And
yeah, you showed me a couple clips.
dude,
Looks insane.
he is such a beast. And he's such a good dude. And it was so cool, too, like going to South America and the whole language barrier, because he doesn't really speak good English. I don't speak any Spanish. But yet we could communicate. We knew exactly what we were trying to say, you know? Like, it must be like a BMX thing.
I mean, I think he had like a GoFundMe thing where he was like trying to.
Because I think that was for fees.
Was it for
something.
fees? Yeah. I mean, he obviously is super,
it's so crazy.
Good.
Like, he's so good, and he has no support. Like, he's riding a DK frame that's like 2 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, the stuff you do, like, I wouldn't want to ride a bike more than like 6 months.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
He's so crazy. And like, not only that he doesn't have the support, but it's so hard to get stuff down there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, to get stuff to South America isn't very easy, apparently. And I found out how difficult it is when I went down there and talked to everybody. And yeah, it was nuts. Jonathan Camacho, keep your eyes out for him. He's crazy.
Come back to San Diego and
He's the
actually
best
hang
dude.
out with me.
Yeah, right? I didn't even get to see him on this trip.
Yeah, he was down there for a while. I don't know. I think I was just busy phase or something, or I was trapped in a hole. So
that's a good screenshot.
That is a good screenshot.
Frozen
I was working on the Q&A questions there. Yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else going on? What am I missing? You're buff now.
I'm not.
You're buff vert rider now. I don't know. I mean, are you like even one of those early the Mother Huckin edit was like. It was a lot of, there was park stuff in there. There was like you sliding a kink rail. Like do you...
Dude, that rail, I used to grind that rail. I grew up in like Fountain Valley, Huntington Beach area my whole life. And every time I'd ride my bike to Huntington, I'd grind that rail. I can't remember the last time I grinded a hammer.
Yeah, that's what I was about to get at. Like, are you, I mean, you're through and through like a dirt rider, obviously. Yeah. But like you kill the Volcom Park. You're riding vert later today. I'm probably going to probably stop down there on the way down too. But
come ride.
You know Van Homan's going to be here too, right? Okay.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, you're just kind of doing your thing. You're still an all-around rider, but is it you kind of just dirt's obviously first?
Yeah, dirt's always been first in my life ever since I was a Grom, and I feel like as I got older, I got broke off more doing the other stuff. Like,
get in the way of what you really want.
So now, like, I don't know. I still ride parks and stuff, but I mainly just ride trails. Like, it's so sick.
And you have a good. I mean, there's obviously you have Oakley, and that's a little bit of a drive for you, I assume.
Yeah,
like 30 minutes
if there's
or
no traffic, I can get there in like 35 to 40 minutes.
But then you have the wetland scene, and that seems to be killing it. Obviously,
those boys are killing it over there. That's super close to my house. I don't even ride there that often. Yeah. I used to a lot, and then once I started building Oakley, like, I don't know, I just go to Oakley.
Yeah, and then.
But I always ride Oakley by myself. Like, no one wants to drive all the way out there when the wetlands is right there, you know. But I'm excited. We're gonna start building sheep here pretty quick. So the water's finally gone.
It's been flooded for a while.
Dude, it hasn't been that wet since like El Nino in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like, that was the wettest I had ever seen it back in the day, and it hasn't been that wet till this year.
Yeah.
It was bad.
From Tyler is not a dog. Weirdest thing you've eaten, sober and drunk.
Jeez. Weirdest thing I've eaten, sober and drunk. You know what's crazy? When I was just down in Ecuador, Jonathan's mom actually made us iguana. Iguana. And it was so freaking good, dude.
Really?
It was so good. She made it with like this coconut milk, and seriously, the best meal abroad I've ever had in my entire life. Hands down.
So that was sober.
Dude, it was sober.
Totally sober and delicious.
Sober and delicious.
Weirdest and drunkest?
Weirdest and drunkest. I don't even know.
Probably just straight wouldn't remember in general.
You know what? Oh man, there's this one time we were in England. It was for Kai Forte's contest. It was not
Empire.
No, it wasn't Empire. It was after that. It was like 2 years ago.
I don't know.
It was Bangers and Mash, maybe.
Okay.
I don't even know. But we went to this cider place, and they had like this big giant boot, and like nobody like there's like a chalkboard of the people that could drink it the fastest or whatever. But if you puke, it doesn't count. And I ended up drinking it, like chugged it, and I ended up getting like the third fastest time that had ever been done. But you had to hold it in for like 5 minutes. And once they said I didn't win, I didn't even care. I was like, this needs to come out of me. So I went outside and it just projectile.
What, it was beer or what was it?
No, cider.
Oh, it was cider.
And there's this guy next to me. He was a rider. And I puked. And then he just started puking. And then I grabbed the puke. There's like a chunk. It was like a potato. And I held it, and he was like, "Whoa," and just started spewing. Then I put it in my mouth and started chewing it, and then he just lost it.
Was it his potato or yours?
No, it was mine.
Okay.
It was mine. Like, I'd just eaten. I think I had like a pie or something.
Yeah.
And I puked, and he started just puking. He just turned green, and then I grabbed the puke and like held it up to him, and he was like, "Whoa," and then I put it in my mouth and started chewing, and just he turned so green after that.
Oh, man.
But yeah, I don't know.
Great question.
I didn't
Tyler's
swallow
not a
it,
dog.
but I chewed it. Tyler's not a dog.
On a more serious side, Niels Dueck, I don't know how to say that. Are you ever discouraged by the waning popularity of dirt? And then on a secondary note, he says, if I shave my beard into a mustache, will that help me achieve those dipped one-footed threes? So are you
If
ever...
you believe it does, it will. What was the first question?
The first part of it says, are you discouraged by the waning popularity of dirt?
No, not really at all. A lot of people say dirt's dying, but there's still dirt everywhere. It's just there's people that want to ride it and dig it, and there's people that don't.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, street has grown, park's grown, and I feel like dirt has still grown substantially over the years.
Yeah.
It's just the popularity of park and street is much larger.
Yeah.
Just like it's kind of always been,
I just think people are lazy, and there's so much stuff to ride, so they don't have to build their own stuff anymore. And I think that's probably the.
It's not even that they're lazy. Well, yeah, I guess it is that they're lazy.
A little
but
lazy.
No, it is a lot of hard work, and it's dedication and commitment to go out to trails and dig and get them good, and then keep them good. Mm-hmm. And
then to get them torn down, and then you have to do it all over again.
Yeah, and it sucks, and I've had that happen time and time again, and it's horrible. But like, there's nothing like having a good set of trails that you can go flow and ride. There's just so many more riders nowadays, and it's so much easier to pick up a bike and go to a skate park and go ride street. And I don't know, I don't really get discouraged at all.
Yeah. I think
like people say trails are dying, but
I think
like,
it makes
trails are shouting wherever there's trails, dude. You can go to any set of trails,
Yeah.
and there's a scene there.
Yeah.
It's not dying at all.
No.
It's just true. The other scenes are growing, and even trails are growing, but the other scenes are just bigger.
That's true.
That's my opinion.
That's a good opinion. I like it. Upstate 1 BMX says, would you rather give up the mullet or give up bike surfing, which I assume is the handlebar rides?
Neither. Never.
You have to. You have to give up one.
I'm going to give up the mullet when I'm an old bald man and I have a skullet, but I'm going to rock a skullet for a while. I'm already like starting to bald. It's like thinning a little bit in there.
DeMarcus asked about the juice cleanse, but we already talked about it, but shout out to
Juicing's awesome.
Shout out to DeMarcus anyways. And I accidentally hit the forward button, so I messed that up. What else we got?
How you guys doing back there? You look kind of bored.
They're chilling.
All right.
Anthony Napolitan, Anthony Napo says, where did the mullet come from? And who gave you your first mullet ever? He's got so many questions about the mullet. Were you insecure about your mullet at first?
I believe my very first mullet came in Australia. Mm-hmm.
I like how it's like came, like it's like
it came about. It did come
went
to me.
You, like arrived to you in a dream or something.
It was at Shannon Faruga's house, I think. I think that's how you say his last name. It was at his house in Australia. I was with Anthony Napolitan and Brandon Dosh, and Anthony actually gave me it. It was Anthony.
This is a loaded
Anthony
question
and
here.
Shannon's sister. It was kind of both of them, but yeah, Anthony.
So
she was like starting to, and he just took over.
Did you have to grow into it?
I think at first I was kind of like, dude, what did you just do?
Yeah.
But like, it didn't take long to grow into it.
How does it? Does it ever in a situation where you're like need to be semi-professional, like when you have a mullet and you're with your girl and she's trying on a $28,000 ring, do you ever feel like, hey, my mullet and my mustache don't really fit in here right now?
No, not at all. It honestly, it feels so normal. I think people are stunned by it at times. They're just like, holy shit, check out this guy. But for the most part, like, it just feels normal.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. When I met my girlfriend, I actually didn't have a mullet.
Yeah, you trapped her.
I did trap her. I cut it off for an ex-girlfriend. Then a week later, we broke up. Never gonna do that again. Don't
change yourself.
Don't ever change yourself for a girl. I don't care what's going on. Yeah, a week later we broke up, and then a month later I met my girlfriend through a blowjob shot at a bar.
Okay.
Randomly
All
through
right.
Bar Spinner. Actually,
there you go.
Went
Bar
up to these two girls, asked them if they wanted a BJ shot.
I don't know what
they
that
declined,
is,
and then we just started talking and stuff. Anyways,
I don't know what blowjob shot
it's
is.
Like
we don't. That's
it's
some
like
Huntington Beach
Bailey's
shit.
and some whipped cream on it.
Okay.
And you're not supposed to take it with your hands.
I got it. I got it. All right.
It's funny. Every time we went to the bar after that, I always bought Spinner one, and he'd get so embarrassed. And we'd make him take it. It was so funny, and he'd always drop it. You could never handle it. But yeah. So I met my girlfriend, and it's so funny. I didn't even tell her what I do. She's like, "What do you do?" I was like, "Oh, I'm in advertising. I advertise for a couple companies." And I wasn't lying.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm an advertisement.
But like that's the thing. Like I'm an advertisement. No, like when I met girls, I never told them what I did. I hated that. Like I had so many friends who were like, "Oh, I'm a pro biker." It's like, dude, you're a fucking tool. Like,
yeah.
Come on, man.
Flex hard.
Yeah, and like I ended up like showing her photos of me feeding these squirrels by my parents' house. I was like, I have an anaconda. You want to see it? And she thought I was just being weird and perverted. And I showed her a photo of my anaconda, and she's like, "Wow, you really actually have an anaconda?" I was like, "Yeah." And anyway, so like, sorry, I got sidetracked.
No, it's all good.
But yeah, I told her, I was like, I've had a mullet for a long time, and I just cut it off, and I'm gonna have it again. And she was dreading it. And then we were in New Zealand on a Red Bull trip. And we're at the Fruit Farm where Farm Jam is. And we're all hanging out at the bonfire one night. And I asked him, I was like, "Hey, dude, do you think you can give me a mullet with the sheep shears?" And he looked at me like I was crazy. Mm-hmm. And I go, "Could you do it?" He's like, "Well, yeah, I guess it would work."
Yeah, it'll work.
And he told everybody around the farm, they all were like, "This crazy American guy wants his hair cut with the sheep shears." And they're like, "Dude, we need Merv to do it." And that's their father.
Yeah.
And he ended up doing it. We did a skit acting like a sheep. It was funny.
Yeah,
and I had to hide it for like a week from my girlfriend. I was like, "Hey, babe, I'll never forget." Like I'd FaceTime her, and like I had to put my hair like in front of my ears like that. And we were in the airport. And I was like, "I got something that you're either gonna love or hate." And she's like, "What is it?" I was like, "All right, I gotta go." And I came home and I had a mullet. And she can't see me without it now. It's weird.
Oh, really?
Like she loves it.
Yeah,
Full on loves
years,
it. But
yeah.
she just was not about it. Just the thought of it was disgusting. Her dad used to have a mullet back in the day. And yeah, she can't see me without it.
What else we got here?
Jeez, that was a long spiel about my mullet.
That's all right. There's a lot of questions about your mullet
Really?
in here, so yeah.
No, there's no bugs.
Yeah, it's like you had to give up mullets or beer. Which one would you do?
Beer.
He's like, well, he already gave up beer, so that don't really work. This is gonna be a hard question, but Jason Taylor BMX wants to know if you could take a riding trait from 3 riders and mix them with your style. Who and what would they be?
Jeez.
So that's a hard one, but maybe something like somebody that's like super burly or somebody who is really like stylish, or I don't know.
Dennis Anderson.
Of course.
Without a doubt.
What trait? Yeah, all of it.
All of it. I guess I'm just going to take like 3 riders' styles. Could do that.
Yeah, that's fine.
I do like Anderson, Aiken, and Hoffman.
Yeah, that's a
Just
like squad right there.
Crazy tech, gnarly tricks, best style in the world, and the burliest dude ever.
Perfect. That's perfect. Brocka Flocka wants to know how many times you've sharted in public.
It's at least 2 handfuls throughout my life.
Why?
I don't know. Well, I had really bad digestive issues for a long time.
You did say that.
I never got I never like went to the doctor and figured anything out. Through the juice cleanse, we found out I actually had a ropeworm, and I pooped it out. It's just this thing that lives in you, and the doctor said that
not a tapeworm.
No, a ropeworm.
A ropeworm. And
they said they take 8 to 10 years to reach maturity, and that was a mature one. I actually have a photo of it. You want to see it? I'll show you after. It stuck to a little turd like that big. But
would you spend a while looking for it?
No, it just I went to the bathroom and it's so crazy how it all like happened. Also, like, so my girlfriend's best friend was in the middle of this juice fast, and that's how we even found out about it. She's like, "Hey, I made you an appointment to see this holistic woman." I'm like, "All right, cool." I went to the bathroom. I was like, "Hey, babe, look at this thing." She's like, "Take a photo of it." Alicia has to take photos of her poop and show it to the lady, because the lady has to see what your feces look like to see.
Oh, wow. That's
like, she full on like told us to take photos of her poops.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Take a photo of it." I went in there. She's like, "That's a ropeworm." And basically, we came to the conclusion that whenever I ate food, it would go straight through me. I wouldn't digest any of it. That would eat all the nutrients. That's why I was always tired and never had any energy, because I was feeding that basically. And that's why every time, like, if I had sushi, and I ate sushi a lot back then, literally before I would leave the place, I would run to the bathroom and have to poop, and it would just squirt out. It was disgusting.
This is taking a turn.
Yeah. Gosh. There you go, Brock. Yes, I've sharted.
A lot of times.
But, okay, and I've only had diarrhea like twice since October. 2 times that I can remember.
All right.
And, like, it's crazy how,
it's called, like, bowel talk now.
Bowel
it's not
talk.
called Feeble Talk anymore. Should we just end on that?
I haven't sharted since the juice fast.
Yeah.
That's 7 months, 8 months, something like that, October.
Now you know all about Hucker's bowel movements. And I had to
do a juice cleanse. Yeah. It's good for you.
Just so you guys know, Hucker was a habitual poop texter, where I had to send him a full like unsubscribe notice.
You did unsubscribe. Like, You're the only person that ever did that.
Yeah, because I like a formal message like, "Hey, I don't know. Yeah, I appreciate that you think of me, and I don't know how I got on this list, but I would like to be removed from this
I'll never forget. That was the Guadalajara Dirt Conquers, and I started that group text with like everybody that was in the contest. I got Montezuma's.
I wasn't there though.
Well,
I was not there. I have no idea how I got on that list. Yeah.
Well, there's this one time in Mexico, in Guadalajara, where it was Red Bull Dirt Conquers. I got Montezuma's Revenge. I was puking out of both ends, literally within 4 hours of landing. Went to the hotel, went to dinner, and then I left dinner and was just puking. I didn't eat anything for like 3 days because I couldn't hold anything down. The day of the contest, I had no practice. I literally, like, they were about to announce finals. I had to run to the bathroom. I filmed it, and we had Wi-Fi. I texted every person that was in the contest the video, and I literally came out of the bathroom, and everybody went like this. They're like, "Oh my gosh, it was awesome!" Sorry, that was another story. I mean, I got no practice. I ended up winning best trick because I hung 5 up the roll-in.
I was gonna try to find one more question to end on, so we don't have to end on like
let's
bowel
end on
movement
something.
stuff.
Who asked that? Brock?
Brock asked that.
That's a good one, Brock.
Yeah. That's definitely.
Thanks for taking up all of our time.
I mean, he's on. He's oh wait, no, he's not on Demolition. I always
Volume.
Yeah, I know.
Volume.
Yeah,
same but different.
Same, yeah.
Totally different.
Yeah. Damn, where's another one? They're asking about. Well, like, let's talk about. It says Khalid asked, "What made you try and stand on your handlebars?" And I think that, like, I mean, who knows? Why not? Why not? But like, why? How have you turned like hang fives and handlebar rides into like, it's not a shtick, but it's a shtick almost. Like, you're like, yeah, now
how many people I see doing bar rides.
This is the part where I'm gonna stand on my handlebars and give you shakas, and the crowd is gonna go like,
dude, they just
like one of those things. The one from Woodward has like a fucking billion views. It got like
7 million just on my Facebook.
Yeah.
And that was like, I was doing it for fun. My buddy Taka asked me if he could film. I didn't even think about it, and that's like the best video clip I've ever gotten ever.
Yeah.
And it was just messing around. And that's something I do every time I go to Woodward.
Just like you said, when you stop trying and you just have fun with things. But I mean, it's just one of those things that it's like, oh, I got a funny reaction out of it, and I feel like it's like you're an entertainer in that sense, where you just like want to make
trying
people
to have fun, man.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. Like I remember seeing on the news when I was a little kid, there's this guy that did bike stunts, and he was going to be at Newport Beach by the Dory, and he was standing on the handlebars. And I don't remember how old I was super little. And I remember seeing it on the news and was just like, wow. And we ended up not going and seeing him, but I remember I was watching a biking video and somebody did a hippie hop, and out of nowhere I was like, dude, that would be so cool to do to the handlebars. Like do a hippie hop to the handlebars.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason I even learned it. I still to this day I've never done a hippie hop. I've never done that. Someone's probably going to do it now, so send it. Get it. Then I don't have to.
That'd be crazy if you do it handlebar ride, jump over something,
yeah.
land back on.
That would be easier. That would be easier. I think going straight from pedals over something to bars would be harder.
Oh, yeah.
But that's the whole reason I even learned it.
Yeah.
And I learned it, and I don't know. I haven't even tried it yet. I probably should do it before somebody tackles it.
No, but I mean, just in general though, I just feel like you.
But that's
you want to put smiles on faces, I guess. Huh?
Yeah, and like I feel like
that's the whole shtick. Is like people probably see your haircut and the mustache, and they just go, "Look at that dude," and that's what you want.
Well, perfect. That's great. They can think like this guy's a clown or that's awesome, and I don't care either way. It's like sick. Like, if you got a smile, awesome. Like,
perfect.
I don't know.
All right, that's a good way to end it. We'll end on that.
Yeah, try bar rides. They're terrifying to learn, but they're not that hard, and you bring smiles to everyone around you. So go up there.
And maybe you should check and see if you have a rope worm too.
Yeah, do juice fast. If you have diarrhea, get checked out.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everybody.
Well, the next one's Van Holman because he's going to be here in an hour.
He's coming today.
Yeah.
Oh, sick. So, I thought you meant he's going to be in San Diego.
No, he'll be there too, but he'll be everywhere. Van Holman's with us everywhere.
Yeah, I just saw him in Philly. It was so sick.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. What's up? I'm Hucker. Subscribe to Ride BMX.